It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hey there guys, here to do a tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I think I just had a session on my chest over here. I've had 3 sessions since that. As you can see, everything's holding up pretty good there. I had been showing that off a bit. I'll get into what I did with Rick in the next update, because what I did with Terry is much more pressing, and I'm sure people want to hear more about. Me and Rick had a pretty run-of-the-mill tattoo session, not a whole lot different than we normally do. So I had 2 sessions with Terry in a row this week. We bit off a lot more than we could chew the first one. Again, it's because a lot of what you're doing on like black work, like blackouts, when you're doing tattoos over them, you really should do like full color tattoos. So and by that I mean with these the negative is white, and then the foreground is black. So we fully saturate the tattoo, parts of the shading done with black, parts of the shading done with white, and outlined with black. That's how we get this crisp image that doesn't go away. I'll get into what we did. I'll show off. So this one we did 2 days ago. It's huge. It looks even bigger due to the perspective. The color contrast should be similar to that when it's aged. Now, that being said, this hasn't been tattooed in 7 months. It is the second pass on the white, third pass overall, but the first time we used dynamic, and the second time we used Panthera black and fusion white, but we used a spray-on bandage, which I believe screwed up the healing. So the third pass, in my estimation, was really more like a second pass, because we didn't get a lot from the the second pass. I'll apologize ahead of time if I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. Like I said, I had 2 sessions in a row. This is right after, or at least a couple hours after my second session this week on this. So anyway, we did this bad boy yesterday, and we lined out a second one, and we did about 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. We also lined this rose. So those are big. Like, I have pretty big arms. I'm not bragging. I don't need to flex, but I have pretty massive arms, so it's hard to show that off. Obviously, I'll put video wraparounds in here of these, yeah, they're pretty enormous roses. We wanted to go super, super bold with them. Didn't want a lot of filler. I'm always barking about this on Remy Reacts, but I figured I'd take my own advice for at least one of my sleeves. I think a sleeve should be 3 central images and then background. So we're gonna have thorns. We're gonna have 1 more rose. You can still see we stenciled it. It's gonna be my whole outer bicep, and it's gonna go down to right here somewhere. Yeah, it'll meet down somewhere around both of them. So it's gonna be massive. Like, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the size of some people's whole arm is kind of the idea with that one. So right off the hop, I wanna address, I've had people, why roses? Why always roses? Why do you have so many roses? Well, I've always had roses, clearly. These were bright red once. These were just silhouette black roses. I had red roses all over my neck and my chest, and I had a couple on my wrists back in the day. I've just always thought they look cool. It doesn't need to be complicated. You know, I've had pretty much anything I've ever wanted tattooed on me. I've had a full Spawn sleeve. I had like a Lord of the Rings themed sleeve. I've had big portraits of horror movies and famous folks, and I had all kinds of crazy goofy stars, and tons of roses, like I said, and I have a vampire bat on my head, and I've got all this filigree, and I've had like, yeah, I'm doing like this whole Lovecraftian torso and chest piece, and I'm gonna do a big Lovecraftian sleeve. But like, I learned this a long time ago, and I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand, but I learned a long time ago that I just like getting tattooed. I just like tattoos in general. So like, for me, it's not super important even what the image is. So part of why I decided on this rose sleeve was because I wanted one showpiece sleeve to showcase just how clear and how punchy you can make tattoos over black. This is basically less about my interest in tattoos and more about like showing people it's possible and how clear it can be. Like this is going to be like, that's a long time healed now. So these are just going to be bigger, more striking versions of that. And it looks like a black and gray rose, right? These look like massive black and gray roses that flow really well with my shape. Now, obviously, I've commented on this before, but the red velvet background, that's going to be built off throughout the arm. That's going to be in the background. We're going to have thorns like we have on my neck as background elements. And then all of the negative dynamic is going to be shaded with that red velvet. So I will not have a blackout arm for much longer. And I mean much longer. I'm going to do, next week, we're going to be doing this one. It's probably going to be about 4 hours. And then after that, we're going to do the thorns. We're going to do that the following week, I believe, if everything goes according to plan. That will only take one session to get all those in. And then from there, what's that, 2 weeks from then? We're going to be doing the red in behind everything. So within a month, this sleeve is probably going to be pretty close to done, at least prior to touch-ups, because we're going to do a second pass on the white, but the white on its own only takes an hour on each of these. So we'll probably do the second passes in one session and touch up the red as we need, but that's going to be it. That sleeve's only going to take, at the most, I would say 10 sessions. So I'm already a good portion of the way through it, which is ironic because this chest piece I've worked on 12 times already. I think 12 times. I'm going on my 13th session right away here. It's also worth noting that different tattoo styles and subjects take different amounts of time to do. So that's where sometimes on Remy Reacts, where we're looking at a back piece, and Kevin and I will be speculating on how long it took, like how many sessions, how many hours, because different things take different amounts of time. The stuff that Rick and I are pissing around on here takes an eternity because you're building up layers. You're changing things and you're laying out different colors and all that. It takes a very long time. I think that when the chess piece is done, whether some people like it or not, it will be a spectacle. It will be in its own way, it will be a showpiece, but of a different type of tattoo. It's like meticulously detailed work over black. I will mention Kevin was joking with Terry, and it got back to me that how long till Jared's asking you to do his other sleeve with you, because he's gonna like how much this one looks so much. I don't think it's on the table that I'm gonna do both of my sleeves with Terry. Scott, the guy I used to do podcast with, the other bald dude that Kevin and I talked to on our podcast, he's also a high-level tattooer, does large-scale black and gray custom work. He was working on a sleeve design for me for 2 years. I decided to go with Terry. I like Terry's style more, and I think that Terry saturates better. I think that he does less trauma. I just like working with Terry a lot more, and so I chose to do a sleeve with Terry. I don't think that's too hard to understand with how much I've liked what we've been doing, the red on the face and the white highlights and everything that we've achieved. Yeah, it makes sense that I wanted to do a big piece with him. But that being said, Rick and I have a really good idea for my left arm that I've been keeping close to the belt. And I don't think that there's any reality where we don't do that one together. I've had some people who have said, oh, well, the stuff that Terry's done on my neck and stuff is incredibly clear and like very striking and easy to see and easy to read. Well, it is, but it's also less complicated. It's a little easier to achieve that with big, bold images than it is to with tiny, meticulous details and layering color and stuff. I don't know how long it'll be before I'm working on my other sleeve, but I am going to leave that for Rick. I don't think that I want two sleeves this way, but I do think that it's a good thing that I chose to do two different styles, because I like so much about tattoos that just one style I think I'd get bored of, and I may end up blacking out again. So I'm at the point in my life now with tattoos where I know I like getting tattooed to almost to a fault, and so these sleeves are going to be covered with something. Doesn't really matter what. So I just wanted to make sure that at least one of them was a showpiece and something that would look good to people who don't even like tattoos. People who don't know what they're looking at will look at this and they'll be stunned. That is incredibly punchy. There's no missing that, and there won't be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now. And when we get the second pass of white and we get the red behind all of this, it's going to look like out of this world. So anyway, I know some people will be annoyed to see me get more roses, and they'll say it's cliche to have so many rose tattoos and roses have been done to death and all that. Everything's been done to death. No idea hasn't been done before. If you're sitting there thinking you got unique tattoos, I got a bridge to sell you. No one's got unique tattoos. Everything's been done before. Just get what you like. I've been overly critical of geometric and mandala stuff. I'm not a huge fan of that. It's not because it's trendy though. I just don't like the way it looks. But, you know, teach their own. If you like that, you know, make a bodysuit of it. God knows that's done all the time. We got geometric mandala bodysuits all over the fucking place. Why can't I have a rose sleeve or a rose neck? You know, roses are no more overdone than black and gray lions and compasses and fucking geometric and mandala stuff. Like, it's just about what you like at the end of the day. More power to you if you like that. Same to me. More power to me. I like the roses. I like the way they look. I like the way they flow. I like that you can shape them for any space. And I'm thrilled with these. I can't wait to show off the big boy next week. It's going to be half of my arm. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.